dot. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. As I said, I want to, get you guys through this as quickly as possible. I want to make this as brief as possible, but also as informative as I can. First things first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Suarez. I'm one of the program directors with Enrichment Masters. We'll be conducting the programs, the enrichment programs at Riverside. So first, I'm going to give you a little bit of a layout of how I'm going to run the orientation, just so everyone's on the same page. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit more information about the program, talk about the different ones that we have at Riverside, and we'll go over certain details, such as, what you can expect from the program, what we're really working towards, simple day-to-day stuff. And then at the very end, we will have an open Q&A session. A couple housekeeping rules, though, please. If you can, please keep yourselves on mute. That way we can get through this, with as few interruptions as possible. If you do have a question, please type it in the chat. I will get to all questions at the end once I'm all done with my talking points. So I do ask that you type them in the chat, and let's get it started. As I mentioned, my name is Mr. Suarez. You will likely be seeing more of me, if not myself, and definitely one of my colleagues, one of the site supervisors on campus with Enrichment Masters. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and go over the different programs that are going to be offered for both the fall and the spring. Riverside is one of the unique cases where we actually have the same set of programs in the fall as the spring. Normally we kind of shift it up a little bit, but they wanted to keep the consistency, which is great. So the first program is Basketball Ballers, Podcasting, Pottery and Ceramics, and Robotics and Engineering. All those programs are going to be offered in the fall, as I said, as well as in the spring. So letting some more people in here. Parents, for those who are just joining us, if you came a little bit late, that's okay. The other thing I was about to mention, this meeting is actually being recorded. So if you want to, so if you missed something or if you want to go over it again, we will have that recording. We'll have that recording made available to you. So yeah, those are the 4 different programs that we'll be offering at this point. If you've already registered, I'm sure you're already aware of them, but just thought I'd go over them a little bit more. If you're curious to know what exactly will be covered in each program, I invite you to, you don't have to do it right now, do it at your leisure. Go to our website, and on our website, under the About dropdown, there's a thing that says Our Programs. You click on the program you want to learn more about, and there's a little thing that says More Info that will lead you to a sample curriculum. That sample curriculum will, again, give you an idea of what topics will be covered, what fundamentals, what lessons will be given in the program, and a brief description of what each lesson will contain. So why am I saying that? One thing that we, Enrichment Masters, we operate on what's called the project-based model. And for those of you who may not be aware, that is quite literally what it sounds like. We're working with a final project in mind. To give you an example, we're not just sending the kids mindlessly to a robotics class and they build robots, yay, we're all done. No, we are working towards a final project, presentation, competition, showcase, exhibition, something. So I'll use our drumline program that we don't have it at Riverside, but it is a good, it's a good starting point for the case of for the sake of an example. Our drumline performance last year was a competition between the different schools that were participating in the drumline program. So it was Eagle Point Elementary, Indian Trace, Banyan, and Silver Lakes was the other. And I think there might have been one more. But yeah, so we had a whole competition where each drumline crew came out. They performed the songs that they were going to perform. The parents were there. They were voting on their phones, American Idol style. We had a Dillard High School's guest drumline performance, and we made a whole spectacle of it. And I'm using the word spectacle on purpose because We don't want it to be something boring or forgettable. We want this to be something that stays with the kids for the rest of their lives. Because, you know, this is the age really where kids not only are, you know, they're really developing these core memories, quote, one of my favorite movies, Inside Out, but they're really finding what they're passionate about. And what we want to do is that we want to make sure that we can extend or offer that avenue to find their passion. So if you'll indulge me for a moment, I'll just give you this example. I grew up near Weston, over on the west side of Broward County, where you can find 1,000,001 soccer programs, which is great. I love soccer. It's great. But, you know, something unique like drumline or a pottery class or robotics or sketching and comic book creators, different things like that weren't really that available. So we want to be able to expose these kids to something that they might not have had the chance to be exposed to before, and potentially they can find their passion in. So all that's to say that, you know, these final projects, we do them so that they have this sense of accomplishment. It's not just, oh, look, I made a vase in pottery, yay. No, we want to make a whole show about it. We want them to feel proud of what they've done, proud of what they've created. And it really just, it comes down to that final project really can drive that point home. So moving on from that, back to more nitty gritty stuff. I want to talk about switching programs. I've gotten a few parents ask like, hey, if my child is in robotics, but then they want to change to basketball, can they do that? 1000%, they can do that. They can change after the first month. But what I do discourage, or what we do discourage, is repetitive switching. So like, okay, first month you're doing robotics. All right, I didn't really like it. Let's go do basketball. Yeah, I don't really like basketball either. All right, let's do pottery and ceramics. You know, jumping around like that is what I don't recommend. Why? I'm going to tie it back to that final project, because by the third month is really the second to last month of the semester, if you really think about it. At that point, the final project is not only already decided, but they're finishing it up. They're working towards that, and they're almost done. And for a student who might have just joined, it can be a little frustrating to be that far behind right out the gate. And then that frustration may turn into resentment towards the program, even though it's not nobody's fault. They just started late, you know? So we don't want that to happen. So that's why we discourage repetitive switching. And they switch the first month. After the first month, they try it out. They don't like it. They switch something else. Totally. We're not going to say, well, you're stuck with it. We're not going to do that. You know, we definitely want them to get the opportunity to try as many things as possible. But, you know, we have to balance that out with, all right, well, you can't be jumping around too much, because then you really don't learn a whole lot of anything. So moving on from that, I'm going to talk to you about the day-to-day, the stuff you guys probably have the most questions about, what the day is going to look like. Excuse me. So you guys at Riverside are set to start on September 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, September 9th is what I see here, which will be not this coming Friday, but next Friday. So what you can expect from the day-to-day is this. At the end, we are an after-school program, so we will be operating on campus after the school hours. And I kind of want to go over how it's going to work, how they get to the program, dismissal, all that jazz. So we have two different hour blocks, two different time blocks. We have the first one, which is a 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and then a 3 to 4. Once dismissal begins, the students who are enrolled in that 2 o'clock session will be sent to meet with us at a meeting location that is still to be determined. We are finalizing that with administration. And once we know, you will definitely be the first to know after that. And I'm going to go over each kid's dismissal procedure, just so that everybody knows exactly how things are going to run. So if your child is attending an on-site aftercare program, pretty much it's as simple as this. They first will report to their aftercare counselors. They will go to their aftercare counselors first to say, hey, I'm present. I have robotics today. Cool. That way, aftercare is aware that they are there, and they come to us. They come to us, they do the program, and then they get escorted back to aftercare. Done. Aftercare is all taken care of. If your child is a bus rider, walker, or a car rider, that's a little bit different. Rather than them going on the bus or walking home or going to the car line or car loop, they would report to us at the meeting location, which again is TBD, but we will know very, very soon. They'll meet with us. Then they do their program. Then those are students that do need to get picked up by either yourselves or another authorized adult on their registration list. Everybody who you listed on the bottom there at the registration form that says authorized adults who can also pick up my child, those are the people we're talking about. Now, when I talk about this, I always make sure to drive the point home that, number one, we are not a child care program. We are just an enrichment program, all right? So we do need someone to be there on time after the program ends to pick them up. That's number one. Number two, which is actually more important, is that when you come to pick them up or any of the authorized adults come to pick them up, we do need you to have a photo ID with you. It is a safety protocol that we have to follow, and there's no getting around it. Is it tedious to have to be like, oh, hold on, here, I left it in the car, I gotta go get it? Totally. But please understand, it is a safety measure that we have to take. We wanna make sure that we're releasing these students, these children, to the correct people. So please inform anybody on your authorized pickup list that they do need to have a photo ID with them if there is a day that they're gonna be the ones to pick them up from Enrichment Masters. I can't stress that enough. There have been times where a parent's like, well, I left my ID at home. I will hold on to your child here. Please go get your ID. I'm sure that is mom, or I'm sure that is dad. Kid tells me that's dad. I know, but protocol, I gotta double check. I have to. Where will the pickup be? So that is still being determined. As I was saying previously, the very next email you guys get from us will contain dismissal information, pickup location, what time block your child is in the program, all that stuff. So the very next email you get from us will contain all that information. Moving on to, so talking about the dismissal. So yes, that goes for walkers, bus riders, and car riders, car loop people. If your child is a biker, those are a little bit of an exception. Those students, we do allow them to, we escort them back to the bike rack. They get on their bikes and then they can go home. Those do not require a sign out. If you would like to come sign them out and, bike with them or anything like that, by all means, you totally can, but it is not required for the bikers to be signed out because they're on the bikes and they're good to go on that. Moving on, rainy days. We do have programs here, such as the basketball, that do take place outside. If it's raining, that does not mean the program is canceled for the day. We have organized with, or we are organizing with the school to have a backup rainy day location. So although they may not be outside on the courts, they will still be participating in some sort of basketball exercise to still continue to practice. So rainy days will not mean, oh, the whole program's canceled. We're not going to cancel the program for that. Moving on to, all right, so the next email, like I said, will contain all the information you need about dismissal, pickup, what time block your child is in. So look out for that. The payments, that's the next part, the fun part. Well, fun for some people, not for so much fun for others. So the payment, the payment you made, the $50, covers 1 month. And I say month in big quotation marks because it covers 4 sessions. All right, so the first session will be September 9th. So that means that the payment you've made covers September 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th. All right, you don't have to worry about making another payment until the end of September. Now, you can opt for an automatic billing if you'd like. if you're one of those parents that, you got a lot going on, and we totally understand, and, it might slip your mind, we will have that option for you. But, don't worry, we will have, we'll send you a notification a few days prior saying, hey, so the payment's coming up. So don't freak out if money gets charged to your account. If you do not want to opt for it, excuse me, if you do not want to opt for the automatic billing, you can still pay manually. And yeah, just go online and do it the same way you just did it for this first month. Either way is fine. There is no right or wrong way to do it. Moving on to the last point I'd like to talk about before I open the floor to Q&A. I do encourage you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel. No, we're not trying to get YouTube famous like all these kids want to do. That's actually where we're going to be uploading any practice videos. So for example, in basketball or the drum line that we also have, we'll be uploading practice videos on there so that, if they want to practice their drills at home, they totally can. If they want to practice their pieces from the drum line, they can. If they have modeling clay at home for pottery and ceramics, they can, follow along, stuff like that. We'll be hopefully uploading those once the sessions begin. And additionally, as far as supplemental things that are available, if you've explored our website a little bit on the EM shop, you'll notice that there are some supplemental items there, such as like a robotics kit, a sketching pad, drumsticks and a drum pad, stuff like that. Those are, like I said, I keep saying supplemental because they are not at all required for the program. We bring everything that is needed for the program. We bring the instructors, the curriculum, the equipment, the supplies, the material, everything. We bring all that. That is just something supplemental if they want to use it at home. If they want to bring their own stuff, if they want to bring their own basketball, if they want to bring their own little robot or something, that's totally, totally fine. They are responsible for the items that they bring, but we're not going to prohibit them from bringing their own items. So, but if they want to practice something at home and they might not have the available items, we do have those on our online store. So I'm going to stop talking. Well, I'm going to keep talking, but I will open the floor to Q&A at this time. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and type them in the chat and I will answer them in order as they appear. And if there's any parents who joined in late, first of all, welcome. This meeting is being recorded, so you didn't just join in for nothing. This meeting is being recorded, so please, please, please look out for this. We'll make it available to you guys so you can go back and watch it at your leisure. So it's $50 per month or per 4 weeks. Let's call it a combination. $50 covers 4 sessions. Because we do take days off into account, and because you guys are on Fridays, that does happen a few times. So pretty much if, there's 4 Fridays in September, this is just an example. If there's 4 Fridays in September, but one of those is a day off, then it'll go to that first week of October, if I'm making sense. Where will pickup be? We already did that one. Will drumming be available at Riverside? No, drumming will not be available at Riverside. I was using that just as an example. The programs that Riverside has are basketball, podcasting, pottery and ceramics, and robotics and engineering for both the fall and the spring. Are the materials included with the $50? Yep. There's nothing additional that we charge unless you want to purchase something supplemental from our online store. Registration required. We choose shirt size and sweatpants size. Should the child wear that attire on Fridays instead of uniform? And when will they be available? Very good question. So that question we have on every registration form. However, it does not necessarily apply to every program. For example, for basketball, we would have them, kind of uniform up for the competition. They're not going to be getting it right out the gate. The students who are going to be competing in the basketball tournament or the skills showcase or whatever we end up doing, then they'll be asked to wear that. and those can be made of those will be made available later on, more likely October, November, if I'm being realistic. But no, they don't have to wear a specific uniform on Fridays for any of the programs. They can just chill in their uniform. If they want to bring a change of clothes, go for it. And speaking of, for those outdoor programs, which looks to be just basketball at Riverside, make sure they got a water bottle, make sure they're staying hydrated, and a sweat towel if you want. That is totally optional, but something that, this is no longer an Enrichment Masters thing. This is just a Mr. Suarez recommends a towel of some kind to wipe the sweat because it is hot out here. Questions, Q&A, yeah. Okay. Questions seem to be slowing down. I'm going to be staying on for an additional 10 minutes. However, if you oh my God, it is only Wednesday. If you do not have any further questions, you are totally free to go. The rest of your Wednesday is yours. And yeah, we will be very excited to see you very soon. If you have no more questions, you're free. But I will be staying behind for an additional 10 minutes until 6 p.m. answering any questions you guys might have. So to those who are heading out, it was a pleasure, and we will see you soon. Whoever's staying, how's it going? How many kids are enrolled in robotics so far? I don't have the exact number in front of me. I can tell you that it caps at 25 students per time block. So 25 for the first hour, 25 for the second. So a total of 50 per semester. The way to know if there is any space left is actually, I can check right now. I can't see the exact number because those are still being crunched for today, but I can check our website program payments. Bear with me, guys. Robotics, fall, and we're at Riverside. All right, Riverside, we definitely do still have spaces open in robotics as of this moment. So if you want robotics, you can still make that payment and join in. The link to this recording will be in YouTube. If it's not on YouTube, then it will be sent directly to you guys in a mass email. Kind of how you receive the invite to this link. It'll be something similar if it's not on YouTube. So do not bring anything with them Fridays for robotics. Correct. You do not, they don't need to bring anything specific. There's no required materials. We provide everything. If there is something that they would like to bring, they by all means can. However, they are responsible for whatever items that the students themselves bring. Did I already answer that question? I think I did. If you register for spring and fall, will spring's fees be applied to future months in the fall, or they are a secure spot in each season? Good question. So if you made a payment for a spring program, that secured your spring spot. So if you wanted for sure your child to be in robotics for fall and spring, then the best way to do that is to make a payment for fall and make a payment for spring. That way we know, oh, they want spring. So that spring payment covers January's first 4 sessions. My kid is in both podcasting and robotics for the following hour. They will be escorted to the next class. That is correct. Once the robotics class or the podcast class ends, they'll be escorted to the dismissal area, but rather than being dismissed, they will just be taken by the next program's instructor to their next program. Are we able to swap programs at any time or at any point, or only change for the spring? I mentioned this a little bit earlier, and we do allow you guys to make a switch. However, what I discourage is the repetitive switching. So if they do robotics, they get bored of robotics, okay, they jump to basketball. Okay, they get bored of basketball, they jump to pottery. It's that we discourage. One switch after the first month, that's totally fine. As long as you're aware that they'll be a little bit behind, they'll be 4 sessions behind if they do switch. But as long as you're aware of that, you're good to go. So you don't have to wait until spring to change it. can we register for spring? And then if they decide they no longer want to do it, you'll get a refund. Yes, our refund policy is as follows. Number one, if your child did not attend any of the programs for the four sessions or the first month, then you are eligible for a refund. Or if your child has missed 3 sessions due to being sick, we do need a doctor's note from it. If they miss it for being sick, then you are eligible for a refund as well. So for example, right now, since your child has not attended any of the spring programs, then yes, you would be eligible for a refund should you decide to request one. Again, parents, if you do have no further questions, you are free to go. If you do have something that comes to mind later, please send us an email at info@enrichmentmasters.com. I'm typing that in the chat right now so that you guys can have it, or give us a call at our phone number, which let's also type that. Why not? All right. And that is our customer service line. If you have any questions, you can talk to one of our representatives. If I'm not the one who answers the phone, or if you're tired of hearing my voice, then you can speak to somebody else on the team. Is any? No worries, no worries. Not sure if that was like the beginning of a question or. Ooh, that is a storm cloud coming. Oh dear. All right, I'll stay on for another 2 more minutes until it hits 6 o'clock on the nose. I do have one more orientation to get to with parents from another school, and I want to make sure that I give them the same amount of attention as you guys. So I'll give you guys another minute or so if anything last minute comes up. All right, looks like we're good. So yeah, all right. Oh, wait, one more. Do you post pictures or videos from the classes? Yes, we do plan on doing that. We will have a photo gallery. I think we might actually still have our photo gallery from last year on our website. Let me confirm that for you. EM Media Gallery. There it is. So yeah, if you go to our website, under the About, you'll see a thing called EM Media Gallery. And on there, you can find pictures from specific programs from different schools. Obviously, nothing has been posted yet for this school year because we haven't begun. But yeah, you can find them on there. All right, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this meeting room. I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Thank you again. I appreciate your time. I hope this was informative. And any other questions you have, I'd be more than happy to help you answer them. Shoot us an email. And yeah, just everyone have a great night and be safe, okay? We look forward to seeing everybody.